This is my father. Here he is talking in one of many schools on the West Coast about his self-biography. Arbete ger frihet, eller Arbeit macht frei. I have been working as a teacher on the West Coast and got an education which is about how to make text more easy for younger people to read. So I took the book of my father, Arbete ger frihet, and that text, together with a lot of pictures, I made or produced my book Why Me? How to Survive Auschwitz I, Neuengamme and Watenstedt. This book contains exactly the same text as my father has in his book. The text is about how to survive from one day until another day in those camps. My book contains a lot of pictures. Here is, for example, the prison in Warsaw, Pawiak. That was the first place my father and his brother was caught. After that, they was in Gestapo's headquarters, Al-Yasusha. Then they were transported in those famous wagons from Warsaw to Auschwitz I. Because my father was 3 years in Auschwitz I together with his brother, I also have a map showing how the camp was organized. My father is talking a lot of those blocks, so it's more easy to follow his story with a picture. In my English version, Why Me?, there are more pictures and evidence material as in the Swedish version. For example, this picture, this is a picture of a place my father is talking a lot of. It's called Industrihof. This place was just outside the main camp Auschwitz I. I also have new headlines in my book, headlines describing the text. My father used the name of the camp and a number, but this headline is very important because if you like to look and read about the whole text, it's more easy to find it in the original book, Arbeit macht frei, eller på svenska då, Arbete ger frihet. This picture describes a place in Auschwitz I called Canada. This picture is also not published in the Swedish book. There is also more evidence material in the English version, like this. This is a registration card from Neuengamme camp. There also a map showing how this camp was organized. This map is also not in the Swedish version. Here are pictures from Neuengamme. A picture from that time when my father was there, when they were working at a special place where they made bricks. And this is a picture showing how the camp looks like today. This picture describes the production of the bombs V2, V2 in Watenstedt. This picture is also not published in the Swedish version of the book. And here is finally a picture showing Ravensbrück, where my father was very short. And more evidence material in the English version. All those pictures which I talked about here, which not are in the Swedish version, are also in the German version. Warum gerade ich? And then finally, there is an illustration showing how his journey was during those days. After having been caught outside Warsaw in a place called Neuengamme, 1943, he and his brother arrived at Auswitch I. Then my father was moved to Neuengamme. Here he was during 1943 and 1944. He was moved to Watenstedt, and 1945 all the camps had to be emptied, and my father was very shortly in the woman camp Ravensbrück. He also survived the death march, and then suddenly he arrived at Lübeck 1945. There he had the luck to come on a boat from the Swedish Red Cross, and he arrived at Malmö 1945, where he met my mother. In this book, my father has the name Rick, but in the normal life his name was Richard, and his brother was named Tony in the book, but in the real life his brother's name was Marian. So find my books on my homepage www.svekas.se, and I have real good prices for the books.